We now return to Let's Play Zeus. So, a few things I want to accomplish this episode. First of all, I want to do my administrative center. So I want to get the palace down and get that all nice and ready to go, have the city center sort of solidified. And then I want to deal with my distribution network. One of the things that's going on right now is that we're bottlenecking a bit, and that's because we're now actually in excess of our production, and people are just hanging around, and they are just standing there waiting for things to open up. That's not super efficient, and I've never really worried about it before, but I feel like since we're going to be spreading things out a bit, it's going to be necessary for the distribution to continue to flow, which means that people, the carters here, the deliverymen, need to actually be at their facilities rather than wondering. This guy's actually coming all the way down from the onion farm to fill this in. That's kind of ridiculous. Same with this one. So, you know, when it gets going and we need this stuff constantly filled, we can't have guys just hanging around waiting, because that's going to slow things down a lot. And, you know, this guy, all these marble, we've got a lot of marble, deliverymen going across the city is also not very efficient. So when I build up the industrial center, we will have the distribution kind of in the halfway point, which will at least get it up there a little bit faster. So that'll be good, but it's something I need to probably look at right now. And in fact, one thing I can look at, all this worthless fleece that I've been building up, I don't intend to put it into houses right now. I could actually bring it in here and then just tell them, you know, not to buy anymore, and they would at least have a fleece vendor. Oh no, that's only buying it. They won't go buy it. I was thinking it would put it in there and then stockpile it. That's not how you do that. Stockpiling is... How do you do that here? That's for trade. That's not what I'm looking for, is it? Oh, right, you click on it and it'll stockpile it. Either way, though, that's not really getting it out of the warehouse to somewhere useful. But one thing I can do, I can start setting aside for a colony, and it's probably a good idea to begin this colony right away, because I'm not really sure what it's going to provide for me, but it'll probably benefit me in the early game developing this city, just having another trade partner and being able to utilize whatever it's going to give me in tribute. So we're going to set this aside, which should now open things up for all of these guys to deliver what remains of the fleece hanging around. And so that guy at least will be able to go back to the trading spot. Not a big deal for this pier because these guys are bringing it directly to this area, but like I said, if I build a halfway storehouse, which would probably be a good idea. No, they're not even delivering it from up there, they're delivering it from up here. Well, never mind. But anyway, point is I should begin looking at things more efficiently in future when this gets really complicated. So I've got a lot of marble. I should probably consider maybe putting things down to start building up what I need. And so Athena is going to be the first. Well, no, I don't even need that, do I? I've got access to the olive trees right now. Okay, well, before we do that, let's go ahead and start putting down the palace and get that going. I guess I can let these guys go whilst that's going, because we are at a position where I'm making money and food supply seems to be pretty solid, so the city can now run without me for just a minute. So the palace, looking at the map here, probably going to want it sort of central right there. I think that's pretty much centered to the landmass anyway, and it does take up a lot of room. It's quite large, but that's okay. Just need to think about how I want an entrance to this place. So I want this surrounded by walls. I think I can actually incorporate its walls into the city walls. So maybe if I move it up a little bit to like right there. I was thinking of maybe having a side gate left and right, but maybe I should just have one entrance up the middle. I'm not really sure what kind of difference that'll create. Let's give that a little bit of a gap there. That way I can run a crossroad for travel. That will mean it is outside of... I'm just trying to gauge here how much room that's going to actually give me.
I am Demeter. Worship me.
Let's put it right there. Gonna eyeball it, and it's probably gonna be really dramatically... Well, I mean, it's already not where I want it. Let's bring it over here just a little bit. So I'm gonna want this also to enclose the hero halls, if I even have access to them in this scenario, which I'm not entirely sure of. But we'll put this down anyway. And there is also a thing. The towers have to have access to a road in order to be manned. But I think for right now, I'll just go ahead and put something like that down. We'll come in here, go to avenues, sort of thicken this up. And in fact, why don't we actually bring this out a little bit? Nope, 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 fuck. Wow, it didn't even ask me if I wanted to delete that. That's pretty bad. Okay. Put you back down for a third time. Let's off-center it a little bit more this way. Alright. Pull that out. Give me the road. Put the road down, and this time I will have the avenue on the inside. Separating it just a bit. I do not know, now that I think about it, if this structure requires hazards. Not entirely sure about that. I don't think that the hero halls do. So the hero halls are 4, so we're going to need at least 4 away. So it looks something like that. And that means that, let's see, I want to run, say, Corinthian across the front. You know what, I mean, it's not going to be symmetrical, and we'll have 2 gatehouses right next to each other. I'm not sure I like that, actually. Because otherwise, this runs right to, say, here. So that could actually line up with a gatehouse there. That actually worked out pretty well. So gatehouse right here. Do I have to actually draw a road between them, or is that actually now going to be connected? I hope it's going to be connected. Because, yeah, if I want to do another gatehouse, then that gatehouse will end up here, which really it would actually have to be out a little bit here to allow me to line up with the wall, giving me access to a tower in the corner there. And what would I actually do with this? What would it benefit me to have a road coming straight down this way? It really wouldn't, I don't think. So why don't we not do that? So now we're looking at a wall coming out here. And that works out there. So now I've got something on the inside. I will want Corinthian columns, I think, running along the inside of that. And I can't do... Whoa. Can't do... I guess I could turn that into an avenue instead of a boulevard. Or a boulevard instead of an avenue. To beautify it. Let's see, let's put a bench here. And I guess just a park. So like right here to here, I'd be able to put in an avenue. Nope. Put in a boulevard. Might look interesting. I want to put columns along the back wall, but maybe right up against the wall is not the best. It does look a little weird. Well, okay, another thing I need to consider is what the towers are going to look like. That one will work, this one will not work, because it's not right next to a road, so we'll have to have an external road anyway. I think we'll just solve that by doing a cut across. Which I realize is sort of redundancy right there. So maybe actually I would rather have something coming down here to bow out that way. That would actually probably be more beneficial, because then I can actually do something with this area. Just basically a long straight shot, or maybe a small loop in here that connects up. I don't know yet. We'll figure that one out. Okay, so back to this conundrum, what I want to do with those roads. Because I can now take Avenue and just run it to here. And then I guess we'll put another bench here. I think we'll go ahead and give this a shot. Take Boulevard. Do something like that. And then we'll run Corinthians along the back wall. Like all the way? Or just another garden? We'll put another garden for symmetry. Okay. So we'll go ahead and complete the circuit here. Making sure that that actually goes across. Yeah, if I do that, it doesn't actually bend. And then we'll put a tower. I know. Tower here. Tower here. They will not be manned at the moment, but maybe I can run a road out. But see, now if I want this to connect up to the city wall, I'll basically have another gatehouse. I mean, I guess I will have to have a gatehouse here anyway. If I'm going to have this dock area outside the city, there'll have to be a gatehouse here anyway. So we could, but then I'd have to have another gatehouse to run the road there. Yeah, see, that just doesn't look good. So I'd probably want to bring the gatehouse back so it's straight up here. And then I could run my service road from one end to the other. So we'll just put this here to remind myself of the junction where that gatehouse is going to be, and then I can always bring the wall in to run along the outside of this road, thus solving the eventual problem of those towers not having anything. So this does actually look a little sparse on the inside now. Obviously we are going to have to put in some beautification stuff, but I'm picturing having basically just a lot of park. Maybe I could actually put a monument in here, because the appeal actually needs to be rather high to get the temple in there, and yeah, I could actually probably have made this even a little bit bigger. It's already pretty big on the map, though. I didn't want to really go crazy with it, but it actually could have made quite a bit more. Did I not bump this up to I did not. We'll just take all of it, okay? You can just... Well, you know what? We'll get everything. Whatever you want to bring down here, you can bring down here. And we will be very accepting of everything. Okay. Yeah, see, because now this one's going to come up, and we've got a road here that I was hanging out with, so we could make a small loop in here that maybe this can come into from this side for this housing block that'll be right in front of it. I think that'll be okay. That'll work out. We're just going to have to maybe actually plan this one, space it out, figure out where and how much room I've actually got, because otherwise we're going to be doing some weird funky business here, and I might actually just be able to get a long, narrow, because otherwise I don't know what I would do with this. And in fact, if I'm actually utilizing this road, this is a lot of wasted space as well. But it could also just run straight down the middle of a city block. Or yeah, I don't know. We'll worry about that in a minute. So that's done, which means that now I can actually start collecting taxes. Oh boy, oh boy. What should I do with that? Should I put it here? Because if I put it there, right next to the theater, I'm trying to space out the buildings, because we've got several culture buildings that I'm still going to need. I'm going to need a podium, which is also another 2x2. I suppose, I mean, I'll have a theater here, so I guess I don't necessarily need a school in this district. This district is a little bit small. Just a little bit. So maybe I could actually put this here. Yeah, and then I'll put, because then I'll have it on either side houses, and in the back we'll run park, and behind that we'll go ahead and run some columns. So I'm not going to entirely close off my blocks with the columns like I have previously, using them like fences. I'm going to just try and have all this structure and stuff out there, sort of to make it look busy. So that's good. How are we doing on money, aside from the massive amount of wasted construction that I drained? So my actual income is not super great. Although when you consider that 1,000 of this was in this, that I'm not even really going to be able to utilize at the moment, it was alright. Road, no, I'm looking for tower. Towers need 15 people. And I have unemployed people, so what's the... I need to turn them on, don't I? Yeah, manning towers, good. So we're not going to do that yet. Yeah, that'll work, that'll work. See this gap with the grass, though? It would be better to have something, even just gardens or parks running along the back of it to kind of give it a little something, because it is otherwise boring. Speaking of, maybe we should do a hedge maze? Yeah, and then we'll do, I hate to keep using parks. There's really not enough to put down here. Do something like that. And then we'll just have a big open spot until we get... Because the biggest park that I can make is a 3x3. I could just plunk this down for now, and then if we ever need to put something else down... Really doesn't have the best appeal. Honestly, it actually could use a little bit of expansion. It's not going to have enough appeal if I put down a Heroes Hall. Again, I don't know that that's a thing, but if I do... This is not enough appeal. It's going to need more surrounding. It's going to need a bigger layer. So pushing the walls out sideways either way, at least one, which is unfortunate because then this is not going to line up with this road, which means we'll move out the east wall. Well, whatever. Let's not look at that at the moment and quickly get into this because I've wasted pretty much the entire episode freaking around with that. Alright, let's do this. Just to kind of get all the road up there. And now I need to look at, well, how much marble do we have? Do we have enough to put down Athena right now? 24. Looks like we definitely have enough. So I guess I need to, you know what, I'm gonna pause the recording while I actually measure this out so I can see where these things are actually going. Alright, I think I figured this one out. So, initially I was thinking of putting Hades and Athena up here since they were the largest temples available. But, in trying to make this actually work and, you know, look good but also be a good design for the city gameplay-wise, I've changed that up a little bit. And I think I'm actually going to put Athena and Dionysus up here, just because they immediately will have access to their sacred groves and vineyards. So I think we can roleplay that a little bit. Leaves a lot of other open things that we don't really have. Festus is still going to have his hill up here, and this will still be the industrial district. But as for Hades, I think I will just put him over here. And then I think I'll end up putting the elite housing area sort of over here. I feel like that's going to be a little bit better because then it kind of separates the elite neighborhoods. It allows me to have sort of areas of lower income working houses, sort of separate from the upper middle class that will surround the agora, and then sort of having another little area here of hovels and whatever the next one is. I think tenement is the next one after this. Just kind of separating it that way, stratified a little bit, and then that way the outer, or I guess another secondary entrance to the city will come in through a secondary temple district specifically for Hades. And I feel like that might be a little bit thematic as well, because Hades, being the god of the underworld, might not have an appreciation for heights. He prefers being closer to the ground. So what am I going to do with this hill? I mean, this is a perfect hill to put a temple on, and it would look really cool. But I think we can also maybe utilize this for some weird kind of elite housing thing that winds up the road here, and then we'd put in some regular houses. Just kind of, I don't know what I would do with this. Maybe some private resort thing. I can build this up to look nice. I don't know what I'm going to do with this hill, but I'm going to try and do something with it. Maybe, again, I really hope that heroes' houses or heroes' buildings come into play, the halls come into play, because then I could put one up here, and that would actually look pretty cool. So we'll find out. But anyway, so for Athena, what I'm actually going to do is put her this way. And what this will actually allow me to do as well is continue my original idea of putting walls up here on the hill. I'll be able to sort of surround the perimeter with it. Now that's going to leave a large gap over here. Again, I'm kind of banking on getting heroes' halls. If not, we'll just build it up with beautification structures and make it a thing. I don't know. So she's going to go down right here, and that will allow me to bring this road around. And then I'm going to, because I think that's going to go right here, I'm going to turn this into a boulevard. And then this wall will probably run in, or road will run into a wall that goes around, and then this one will come here. I should be able to get a wall diagonally built into here, I think. Maybe. Nope, it's not going to work. It does build walls diagonally though, see, like right there. So this one's not going to do it. Maybe I'll put a tower here just to kind of cover that up a little bit. But whatever. So that'll hang out there. So we now need to connect up a road for what will be Dionysus, which I think will have his go just kind of... I could actually just go right there. If I want... It's going to have to be here if I want the wall to continue around it. Because otherwise I'm going to have this, and then I'm going to have the big road go down that way. But you know what, let's just go ahead and hook it up right there. And I don't know that I have enough marble at the moment for this, but for future planning, it'll go something like this. Or maybe I can try and do some diagonal wall thing, whatever the case may be. That's how that's going to go right now. Okay, so, yes, I'm going to get to you eventually, Hephaestus. In fact, I might end up doing him next. Athena, kind of unnecessary at the moment, because, like I said, we can go ahead and get the trees up and running already. And I'm not going to have industry up here. It would make a lot of sense, gameplay-wise, to actually do that, to put growers' lodges, to put wine presses and olive presses and all that stuff. But thematically, this is a sacred hill now. This is the home of the gods. We wouldn't want that. So we're going to continue with the idea of the industrial district down here and kind of spread this out. So now I'm going to have to rethink how these guys are all laid out because it's kind of a mess. Maybe I can do something interesting where we've got like 5 buildings surrounding a third. Is that going to work number-wise? I don't think so, because that'll be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so if I just build a warehouse in between there, there's going to be a strange gap. Well, strange gap anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I did that, Then we'd have like 1, 2, 3. So there'd be a weird... I mean, we can always fill it in with gardens or columns or something. We can do something else with it. But I don't know, it was just a thought. Although, if we did 2 warehouses side by side... I could do maybe a warehouse and then line it on either side with the 6. 6 is probably enough industrial buildings for anything, except that, you know, we're looking at a block of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'd be looking at that for blocks. That's a hell of a lot of space to fill up with this stuff that is not actually going to... Oh, no, it would actually go a little bit further, wouldn't it? Because I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, plus 1, 2. So 1 more. But yeah, it's still, that's a lot of space to fill. That's a lot of space to fill. Because I don't have that many industries that I can run in this town. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about what I'm doing here, especially if I want to move. I think I specifically want to move all that stuff here. And I'm probably going to want to go ahead and lay this out. Might lay this out off camera, so I run a road here, and then I'll do some sort of L-shaped thing with the wall, and so we just kind of maybe run the industry in an L on this side of the road, so that I can have some more housing over here, or something. I don't know yet. This I think right now what I need to be focusing on is getting this colony. I think I only get 1 colony, so. You know, setting that up for what I can bring in is basically my next thing on the agenda, so that I basically have an overview of everything that I will have available in my city. And of course we can always add more lumber down here, because lumber will be necessary for the building of the temples and all that stuff. So we can thin out my industry a little bit more. But yeah, I don't have anything. I don't have access to clay because I need amphora. Or is that a thing? No, you don't actually have to build the pottery, because there's no pottery in this. The pottery just looks, it's oil and wine. Man, the games in the Impressions series are a little bit different. I like that though. I like the variety. I like the change, but it helps to know ahead of time what I do and do not have, because I've forgotten quite a bit. So anyway, yeah, this might be a little bit too big of a map in the end for the purpose of this series, but, you know, we'll, if nothing else, we'll just fill it all in with gardens and whatnot. Anyway, I think that's probably a good place to stop, so I'll end this one here, and I'll see you next time.